we're all
the thing
fake.
is, like, life is life. Okay, I'm not advocating for sin, but I'm like, okay, yeah, so I slept with somebody. So why are you being like,
exactly? So
you fake
I was drinking.
idiot?
I was
Why are you
clubbing.
in church on Sunday? You
Exactly.
fake idiot.
What do you mean?
And is that your life?
Exactly.
Is it any of your
Please.
business? Shut the fuck up. You're
You're
also
doing the
doing.
exact
Yeah, you're
same.
also
Who
doing
are you?
something else. Like, calm down.
And that would
Welcome to another episode of Professions. My name is Mayowa, aka
Big Daddy.
I like that shit. Yeah,
Will you ever get tired of being called that?
Big Daddy. I have so many.
Do you
names.
get called that in the bedroom? Did you make it a bedroom thing?
Nah, come on, that's weird as hell.
Okay.
I'm not so.
Did Vanessa
I
not
was gonna
laugh?
make it visual, but then I was like, let me not. That's weird.
Did Vanessa not laugh when she first heard that nickname? What
She
did
was
she
just
call
like-
you that?
I just like other women call you Big
Stink
Daddy.
eye. Stink eye.
Do they even know?
And I'm here with the beautiful.
Polly Pocket.
Yes.
And the beautiful
Wantigo
Wantigo
Bay.
Bay. Yeah.
So today we are talking about spirits,
Yeah.
which sounds quite
It sounds quite heavy.
heavy. Yeah?
Spirit.
Are you guys
take me
religious
where-
or spiritual?
I'm spiritual,
Why?
I think. I'm very in tune with my spirit.
I grew up very, I think, religious. But then my parents always taught me too that it's not just about religion, it's also about your journey with God and your relationship with God. So I would now say I'm probably spiritual and I'm not as religious. But there's still some religious tendencies that I have that I question, that I want to break.
Like?
Virginity is definitely a big one for me.
I think we're all Christian by default.
Okay,
Yeah.
default settings.
I think maybe we have to
Explore.
not necessarily explore, but like update the Bible.
I also
No,
think,
but I think about it because if you-
let's think about it. I agree.
Because for me personally, I think that the Bible was created in a certain time.
For that.
And I
Yeah,
think for that time, that
time.
was the rule. Okay, obviously at that time, if you are virgin, you are more likely to have chances with a man.
Yeah.
But if you're now like Virgin Mary, who can like give birth to somebody, or not somebody, to
Gosh,
Jesus,
that's the worst nightmare of mine.
and it's quite because from understanding, it was like it's not like she's a virgin per se. It's like she's a young woman, came from the description of Greek,
Yeah.
like gynaikos, which means young woman. But that young woman turned into a virgin. So it's kind of like a misinterpretation. So now the question is like, should we actually update the Bible? Because it's like books upon books.
Yeah.
History
But
books
like-
get updated.
Exactly.
Why isn't this one getting updated?
I don't know, maybe because it's God who spoke to the people who wrote the Bible. So
Okay,
until
do we
he
keep it in its
speaks-
plainest form? Do we keep like in
Yeah.
the most?
I
Until he
guess so.
speaks.
Huh?
Okay, cool. I phoned my mom this weekend and I told her, Mom, it's going to be one of those talks where it's just me and you. Because normally, like, I phone my parents and I don't mind if my dad also listens in, you know, things. But this was like something where I feel more comfortable speaking to Mom. Because I felt like I came into a little situation where I was questioning my belief and do I believe in how, and like it's just so overwhelming for me, and I'm listening to what my friends have to say and what like my sister has to say, but I never actually, it's like sometimes it's nice to hear what your mom has to say, or you know, they can help you maybe guide you a bit more. So that's where my faith and my religion definitely played a part, where I was like, Mom, am I allowed to have sex? Am I allowed to break away from what the Bible says? Because I feel like I'd feel so guilty. I'd feel like the worst human being if I didn't wait until marriage, because like I was
Interesting.
brainwashed like that maybe. And I mean, she told me that growing up too, you know, wait until marriage, but I'd
So interesting.
never asked her why.
But I
know?
think one thing I'll say is sometimes I see the benefit of what religion wants us to do, you know? Like with the thing about waiting till marriage, for a woman, I think it's best. No, hold up.
Yeah.
Maybe not wait till marriage. Maybe have 1-2 partners. But the problem is it's difficult for us to be moderate.
Yeah.
Once you start,
you
it's difficult to now moderate
I think
that.
we'll practice
So then
extremism.
so then it's easier to be like, just wait till marriage to avoid the extremism.
Exactly. And that's how my mom explained it to me too. She just said there's this energy that gets exchanged and she doesn't want me to be tied up with the wrong partner. Or she would want me to be in a nice, loving, stable relationship if I ever felt like I want to have sex.
Okay.
Do you guys believe in soul ties? Now that we're like in the sex and the spirits, that's like the best.
I think it's so romantic to believe in soul ties.
Romantic?
Yes,
Okay.
I think it's so nice to
I don't
think
believe in
that,
soul ties.
that there's like...
But you know,
tied
there's
to
negative
someone.
soul ties
Yes,
too.
I do know.
Okay.
I don't know. I know that there's this like thing where I don't know in what culture it is. I think maybe in an Asian culture. I saw this on this one like TV program, and there's like this invisible red string that you're connected ring finger with another ring finger, and you're always
I don't like
pulling
things
on
like
each
that.
other.
Anything that's red
like that.
and finger and ties.
And it's like, so I was like, oh my gosh, that thing. So that made me question this whole soul tie thing.
I think for me, I don't know, me, I'm always open. My brothers are very spiritual, I'll say. But for them, they questioned church a lot. So they stepped out of the church and they started exploring like, okay, African spirituality, okay, ancient spirituality, everything. And they do believe in that exchange of energy. So I remember like my brothers would always tell me like, okay, you know, actually sexual energy is very strong and you actually... a form of soul ties exists. Maybe it's not called soul ties, but a form of it.
No, it's a form of connectivity.
And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Hey, I don't know if it's bullshit or not. And I remember the first time I had sex and I came back to Vienna, the person I had sex with was always constantly depressed, always sad, was suicidal once in a while. But you know, whenever they'd be with me, they'd be happy. Guys, I came back to Vienna and for 3 weeks, I have never been so miserable. I couldn't explain it. I had money. I should have been the happiest I'd ever been. I had my friends, my family, but I was just so depressed. And then I started to question.
No, some people can definitely rob you off of your good energy.
Yeah.
So you do have to protect your energy. So,
yeah.
So I do believe in, I won't necessarily say in soul ties, but I believe in
that energy exchange.
Yeah, some people just will look at you like, oh, I like your energy, but it might not do it like consciously, but they will just rob you off of your energy.
I believe in energy. If I don't, the first time I meet someone, okay, sometimes, you know, you catch a person off guard on the wrong day. It's not everyone's A game all the time.
Yeah.
So, but then, you know, their energy, if they still plays a big role, even though you might have not left the good first impression. But if I like your energy and if I'm attracted to that energy, friendship,
I think it's
wise,
instant. The
like,
spirits, the chemistry,
exactly.
the everything.
And that there's this weird sixth sense that is there, and I believe in it.
But the thing is, with like 3 guys I've been not sexually but dated, my gut was always like no. And then it just never goes well. You see, I slept with a depressed person, whatever. And you know, it's just like, why didn't I listen to my initial
that's the thing.
gut or my initial energy? Why did I go against it? Because now I'm suffering and I'm thinking, why didn't I just do it? You know, that sixth sense, why didn't I just listen?
Why didn't you listen?
I don't know. I think it's a battle of what you need and what you know and what your spirit knows you need and what is good for you versus what you want or what society has made you desire. So it's just like, okay, you know how girls like bad boys. Why would you want a bad boy? For what reason? You need a good man who will treat you well. So your gut is like, this guy's bad. Don't do anything with this guy. No. But then society's like, oh, they look so good. You know, the way they're so dangerous. And then you go for it, you get hurt.
This is a real criminal. Like, take this 1 kilo, put it in your nyash. And you're like, I don't want this type of badness.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I should have listened to my gut. But then a lot of times for people, it's too late, you know. And the less you listen to it, apparently the less in tune you're with it, and then after some time you're just gonna make bad decisions because your gut isn't telling you anything anyways.
But I think like because I listen to my spirit a lot, but I've also always had like it's weird, I've put certain prayers in place so that I will not fuck up. So it's like I should never do anything that will kind of like alter my future. So that's something I've always prayed for, even though I was young and I never really understood what I was praying for. So it's kind of like you experience what you need to experience, but never to the fullest of extent. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're touching the fence. It's like, oh, it's not really for me. So, and I think that it's very important for us to actually listen to our spirit, because our spirit kind of like guides us if you are spiritual. Because there are certain things I would want to experience.
But I think we're all spiritual. You know, initially.
But you have to talk to your spirit and ask questions like,
exercise.
okay, what am I supposed to do? But the thing is, I feel like the spirit will never really tell you like, this is what you should do. But it's like,
I think when you call it a spirit, it sounds very scary. Can you just call it like your God or something? Because I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know. You know, spirit is like.
What are you talking? Are you thinking of Casper or a ghost?
No, not a ghost. I don't believe in ghosts. But then
You
spirits,
don't?
there's good and bad spirits, obviously. And like when you say spirit, it's such a strong, powerful, weird word that I don't know. I feel like gut feeling is much easier, like accommodating.
gut feeling. I think the spirit is powerful.
Okay.
Like there's something behind me. It's like, oh, Mayowa, this is what you're supposed to do.
Guardian angel.
Yeah. Oh, angel. I don't know. Do you talk to your spirit or gut feeling?
I do. But there's been times when I probably ignore it, and I'm like, nah, let me just do whatever I want. Why are you always telling me what to do? You know, I get that frustrating thing. Like, let me just live life too. Let me also just experience what everyone else is experiencing. Why can't I also be how society wants me to be like?
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I was like that a lot. Like I was like, fuck this shit. But now, man, all the tears, heartbreaks, failures. Now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to listen to my gut. Tell me what to do. Should I do the boring thing? I'll do the boring thing. I don't want the fun, exciting shit, because then it just saves me a lot of pain and a lot of like regret in the future. So I'm just like, okay, let me just do that. Let me just listen to myself.
Yeah, because like in terms of like, even in terms of career, is your spirit telling you anything?
Yeah, I'm actually completely going against my spirit, right? Like
what's
in life, I feel like, you know, because I've always been like a studious person, not studious, but a school person, straight A's, everything. I thought my life trajectory would lead to career woman, like business, office, blah, blah, blah. But then somewhere along the way, I went into content creation somewhere. The one thing I never thought I would do, because I used to be very shy, and my heart just felt at home. 100% at home. And now I'm like, it's so easy for me. Anything I touch with content creation, just blossoms. You know, that kind of also tells you, okay, maybe this is where you should be. But then I'm like at a crossroads where I'm like, okay, do I go into like coding and computer science and all that? Yeah, it's intellectually stimulating, I'm good at it. Or do I go to what I feel like this is my calling? You know, I feel like I'm meant to be famous. Not a super. Montana has always said she's gonna be a superstar. You know, those people who know from a young age. But then me,
I've always felt like I was gonna be one. That was always my dream. But it's also, there's so many things that hold you back, like your spirit, the norm, the societal norm. You have to go to school. You have to go to uni. I did all of those things, but you know, there's someone you're still not satisfied.
You're like, I'm supposed to be living a different life.
But it's so hard to break away from that. It's so hard to break away. Now, society is going to look at you a bit differently. Your parents are going to be like, no, but this is not what we wanted for you. And obviously you want to please your parents. You want to try to be the best person you can for them too. So I feel everything that you're saying, I feel 100%.
And I feel like, you know, now I'm like, okay, I can see this is what I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be famous. Not famous. All I ever wanted in life actually was to be a good influence. To be a role model to somebody. But I thought this is the way I could do it. Because when I was growing up, when I was growing up, social media wasn't there. Like, you know, when I was younger, when, you know, we're being asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Social media was never there. It was always just doctor, engineer, teacher, lawyer. And I thought, imagine being a black successful lawyer. How many girls would want that? And so I painted this picture.
No, I agree, Paula. I also saw it like this.
I painted this picture of myself like,
I hate people that do law.
Okay, not law, but like I painted myself as, okay, I really wanted to win a Nobel Peace Prize, or a Nobel Prize, not Peace Prize, a Nobel Prize. And I was always like, I want to be that. Look, She's
I know,
like me.
She's like me.
But then in the middle of the journey, right? I'm in coding school. I'm busy.
People have been selling you guys dreams. But no, it's true. I feel
Yeah,
you.
it is true. Now in the middle of it, I'm like, you know what? I want to like take videos of random things and tell people, hi guys, this is what I'm doing today. And now I'm like, is this the way I'll influence? Is this the way I'll make a change? I've still not accepted that this is the way I'm meant to go. So now I'm like, I have to get a degree and I have to do this. And now I'm suffering. Like every day I feel like my spirit is suffering because when I just sit down to do schoolwork, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Then when I do content creation, I'm in my happy place. But then now the fact that I'm doing this makes me lose energy for this too.
Of course,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's very difficult. And I know my parents have seen that content creation is a sustainable source of income because luckily my mom is the one who has my accounts and everything. And sometimes she's like, you just made more money than me. But then I don't think they've accepted that this is a career. And I love to please my parents. Like I'm a parent pleaser.
Can I say something?
Don't bust my bubble.
Don't please your parents. Don't. Yeah. The thing is, like, everybody has been sold a dream, and I think for our parents with this whole academia thing, that was really a viable option.
Yeah.
Because you have to bear in mind, I mean, our parents grew up like they were, I think, born in the 60s, something like that. So that was a time where a lot of African countries needed academics. They need people that understood law. They need people in economics. So those people that would kind of like guide the whole country to, I don't know, to success. So, but we are now in a different age where we have loads of people that are doing those things, but they're not necessarily successful or even happy. So we have to kind of like find our own niche and path so that we can do what we need to do. Because the dreams my parents told me, it's a shit show. My parents told me like, because in my family, we're actually the archie type of family. So my brother is in law, my sister pharmacy, and I'm in engineering.
Gosh, they're African.
We're all married, yeah?
They're any cultured family's dream.
But the problem is, like, I think that out of all my siblings, I'm the only one who's like, look, guys, every day at work, although I like my work, I'm always dealing with myself. Like, when it's probably like 1 p.m., I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm always fighting against, like, okay, should I still keep doing this? Because I feel like I need to work on my side hustle. And I think I want to be a serial entrepreneur. Because I think that's where I strive. Because I don't want to be sitting at the desk, working here, pressing computer, all these things. Because it doesn't really work for me. And the dreams that they sold me is not really working. So my spirit is basically actually telling me, like, Mayowa, you will get there, but just be patient. And I'm just like, look, I can't be patient anymore. So that's the worst thing. But I have to be patient. But funny enough, my spirit actually also telling me about you guys as well.
Oh, what is it telling you? Please read our cards.
with you, there are two things.
This is so scary.
I was like, okay.
I'm scared.
The first thing is, like, I think you should definitely do the uni thing so that you just have something to
backup.
follow up. Yeah. But you already know your path. You're working on your path and it's successful. But at the same time, is work on your romantic life. Honestly speaking. It sounds weird, but I think that you will never really fully be happy if you don't have that romance in place. So that's what my spirit is telling me.
I think
is that correct? I don't know.
Gosh, why is my heart beating for you?
You know the thing is with Mayowa, I actually really listened to you.
Yeah.
A few like 10 episodes ago. Mayowa was like, Paula, is it a toxic situationship? And blah, blah, blah. And, I was really arguing with you. I'm like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't think it'll serve me. But as time went by and we were
10 episodes later,
more, then you start to realize, actually, I do want a very all-rounded life. I don't want to be successful in this, that. And then one area of my life is lacking.
A bit neglected.
And the worst part is the romantic aspect is the hardest part to work on because that's the part where you have to be vulnerable and to be soft. I can't now be business-minded and hard-headed and everything. I agree with you. Go read Montana now.
Montana's actually quite interesting. I think with you, my spirit is telling me you should demand more. Just in life.
From life.
From life, demand more. I think you are timid, but I think okay, two things as well. Demand more from life, generally speaking, and you should become a presenter. I think that's the easiest way for you to have stardom and also be where you want to be, because you can travel. You will be in the face of camera. So I think that's
but I think the podcast will be a very good way to launch.
So we're already working on it. Yeah.
I think the demand more is definitely something that I have to do. You're actually correct. I think I don't demand more because I don't want to be disappointed. Because I've been even demanding things of myself, and then if I don't get them, I'm so disappointed in myself. So that's why I've kind of taken a step back and just like
taking life as it comes.
Taking it as it
but
comes.
That might also be an African thing, because you learn from your parents where you can demand things or you can't. I think most especially, I see it here, a lot of Africans were not where we're supposed to be because we don't learn how to demand things at home. Because your parents will tell you, what I give is what I give you.
True.
So when you are working at a normal 9 to 5, you would just take the salary that they're offering you. Oh, thank you. It's very diminutive. Whereas your white counterparts are just like, nah, I want more. Because they can tell their parents, no, I don't want this. We are like, if you say no to your parents now, it's like, look.
That's so true.
But I think it's so important to then now interact with different cultures.
Exactly.
See how they work and things like that.
I learned a lot from the whites.
I remember with the first time I went on Instagram and I was like, okay, let me start making money. My flatmate at the time was making like 10, 20K a month, like
Crazy.
euros, clean.
Crazy.
And the thing is, when I tell people this, they're like, stop lying. I wasn't lying. I would see the money go in. And now that I'm a content creator, I know it's true. And I remember she was like, okay, why don't you start like 1 hour consultations? How much do you think you can charge? I'm like, $5. She's like, are you crazy? $5. Like, no, are you actually crazy? But I'm like, but I have only 100 followers. Like, who the hell is gonna pay me? She's like, 20. I'm like, I don't think Kenyans have that money. She's like, 20. And she really taught me to be like, demand what you want, like really do demand. And I will also say, because of that, because of the way she like spoke to me and trained me and things like that, I can now be like, listen, my cost is $1,000. If you don't want to buy,
it's
don't
okay,
buy. If you want to buy, buy. And the other day I had to negotiate like some brand deals. And I was so scared, Mayowa. I can show you guys a text. I told my mom, I am so scared they won't pay me this money, because it was like 5 figures. And I'm like, am I worth it? Like, and she's like, she just said, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. But then,
your mom is throwing like holy water at the screen.
But then now it was like, when the brand said yes, I was like, okay. So if I ask, I'll get,
Exactly.
So you should demand more, basically. That's the point of the story, actually.
But it's true, like, like dealing with different cultures. That's why I like to deal with different cultures, because you learn from each and every culture. Like, one of my white friends was like, we were going to, at that time it was still, you guys know Saturn?
Yeah.
But it changed to Medium right now.
Okay.
That electronic shop.
So electronic shop. So I think we were teenagers at that time, and I know like he has money. So he wanted to buy a mouse. He was there, picked up the mouse. He was like, "Can I get a discount?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? What I mean, you're asking this? This
is not a flea market.
This is not Africa.
It's not Africa. It's
and
not a thrift shop. And the guy went to the bank. Was like, "Yeah, we can do a discount." I was like, "Ah." Me in my heart, I was like, I don't like to let people know I don't have any money. And this guy has money. He's always asking for discount. I was like, man, fuck it. This is what I'm going to do now. So you learn from other people. I feel like I always do that, because in Africa, in Kenya, you always ask for a discount,
but
even
it's
in
normal.
a supermarket.
It's the culture.
But here, they have a fixed price on anything that you're buying. So, but you shouldn't actually
That's
ask.
bold.
Yeah, I would never.
Like, I
feel like I would never do it also because I'm black.
And that's also
also, especially
because we feel like, because they will feel like, oh, you guys don't have money, so that's why I don't want to do it. But now I know for a fact that I can pay for it full price. So even the jewelry I bought, like the engagement ring, I was like, this is a big number. I went to her like, it's a Russian lady. I was like, Svetlana, do something for me. She's like, come on, schon machen.
Okay.
Sweet.
No, you always have to
negotiate with life.
You always have to, so that's the thing about dealing with other people and spirits. So,
but I think you also have to surround yourself with people who are then like that.
You have to.
Yeah.
I think your spirit kind of like also
attracts.
Exactly. So one thing about me, like, I never really worry too much, because I feel like my spirit is doing the worrying for me. Where it's like, okay, those are the people that you need in your life, and you learn from them and That's why sometimes when I say certain things, I'm not trying to be harsh or disrespectful to people. I'm just telling you, like, this is where I'm going. So obviously I can only take a few people along with me, but this is where I want to end. So yeah. But you need to also, one thing about also talking to your spirit is like having a fixed set, not date per se, but having a fixed set goal where you're going to be like, wait, this is the point where I'm going to be happy. You're telling yourself you're going to be happy at that point. Otherwise, it would never work because you're going to demand more. Don't be insatiable. I have one where I'm just going to be like, I'm done. I don't want it. Yeah. But that's also something that somebody asked me, like, what's your number? Basically, like, what the fuck do you mean, what's my number? It was like, nah, write down what is your number. What do you want from life? I was like, and I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, if I get this, I'm going to be happy because everything else is just a bonus. And people that have a certain fixed number, they always get a bonus as well. So it's now like, this is what I want from life. And if I get this, then I should be happy. Otherwise, I'm always looking for the next thing. And that's one thing we Africans always do because we feel like, oh, once I get this degree, I'm going to be happy. Once I do this for my parents, I'm going to be happy. No, you have to make the demands of this is where I'm going to be happy. Once you have that, then you will always be cheating from side to side. Yeah. Deep, yeah.
Deep. That was deep.
Yeah, talk to your spirits more. And pray. I think prayer is one thing that's very, very interesting.
I think so too. And I think one thing that I really regret is not having, like, choosing people, like partners or, you know, like boys.
I know what you're going to say.
Are very, like, a mere atheist. Let me put it like that, because that also takes away from your power of being in touch with your spirit. And I think it's this year that I made a conscious decision in my monk mode, because the whole point of monk mode is also to be in touch with you. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pray every day. Every morning I get on my knees and I'm like, listen here. Even if I have nothing to say, I'll be like, listen here. And that really, man, it's like my life started fixing itself, you know, just that 1 minute, 2 minutes where I'm like, this and this and this. You don't even need to ask for something. It just puts you at peace.
Yeah.
You know, and your day is very guided. And I feel like that's the one thing I tell people. Surround yourself with people who are very in touch with the prayer side, or I don't know who they're praying to, whoever they're praying to, as long as it's not the devil. Like,
I don't believe in the devil.
Okay. But then if you have people who are against spirituality, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow in that area.
And it drains you.
It's very draining.
It's very draining. And I feel like you can't be who you want to be too.
You have to hide that side of yourself. You have to hide that
side of yourself. And it sucks. I feel like mainly here, for me, it's like weird not having people who were in touch with their spiritual side, or who would like pray often, and it's like kind of here you kind of alone in this world. I don't know the mindset,
and it's so miserable.
And like if you go to your family and stuff, and they could only also just say, oh well, sorry, I don't know, or we can do it together, but they never even said, but why don't you ask whoever you believe in? Why don't you pray about it? Why don't you do all of those things? And it's not spoken as much. Spoken about.
I feel like the Western world has just shunned religion. It's like, fuck that shit. Not even religion, just spirituality.
Exactly.
Even the idea of manifestation, of, you know, the law of attraction and things like that. I feel like those things, they're really lacking in this place.
It's lacking, and you can feel it.
The life is just very superficial.
No, I think that they have kind of like separated like life and religion from their general life, basically, because in Austria we have like a two-state system. Basically, we have the religion that we have, because Austria is a Christian country, but then we have like governance policies. So everything used to be together in one, because Christian state, this is how we go. But nowadays you kind of like separated those things, but you do find a lot of Austrians that are actually very, very spiritual. Because most of my religions teacher, they're actually white Austrians. So they taught me a lot about Christianity and where certain things come from.
I think maybe it's our age group.
Maybe.
Our age group, they are definitely
maybe.
Not.
Maybe it's that.
The only time I used to pray is obviously during Christmas and when we have a test. It's like,
or when you think you're pregnant and you're like, I'll never have sex again.
So I think for us Africans, I mean, spirituality is also something that just always constantly surrounds us. You know, because your parents pray for you.
Exactly.
When you move into a place, your parents will be like, oh, let me anoint the place.
Exactly.
But I feel like maybe there was some power in all that. Maybe we didn't realize it, but there was.
Yeah.
I think everything is kind of like a representation of everything that's been there before. Because like Yoruba is not only a tribe; it's actually a lifestyle. So if you look at Thor, for instance, there's also the same thing in the Yoruba culture, like the god of thunder. We have gods of all kinds of things. So I just feel like the white people kind of like market it way better than we did. No, seriously, because god of water and all these type of things, like we call it Poseidon, Aquaman, So we just kind of like took in the Christian religion or the Muslim religion, and then we never really did anything with it. I don't think we really understand it properly, because we're always trying to be, okay, let's be African and let's be Christian. I don't think you can do both. It doesn't work.
I think African spirituality is very pure. So in a sense,
I mean, the African Christianity itself.
African spirituality.
African Christianity, okay.
No. And I think if the religion should be pure too, but they're not. So
yeah, they've been tainted with.
I feel like the morals in what should be religion and African spirituality should, correlate in some sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, for white people, Christianity makes sense because I think that it's more of their culture, I would like to believe.
I mean, I've seen enough religions in my life. I don't want any more. Like, my brothers at some point were Rastafarians. The next point, they were like... the next point, they're African spiritualists. The next point, they're Jewish. The next point, they're this. I had got to a point where I knew everything about all religions, and I was like, listen, leave me alone now. Yeah.
Interesting.
But in essence, all of them should be very similar in the principles.
I think they all are similar.
Because I'm a Christian by default. Like, the only way I can talk to my spirit is through Christianity, because that's the only thing I learned. But being a Christian is quite difficult.
Why?
Being a Christian, you have to be perfect.
That's the thing.
But I don't.
And people
think,
expect.
I don't. Yeah, but that's the thing. But who's demanding this perfection? Is it humans or is it the person we're worshiping?
No, I think it's humans, because a person. Our God already knows we're not perfect, and that's why this whole thing where there's forgiveness, and you ask forgiveness, and He forgives you if you ask. But it's our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ that try to be perfect, even though they know that they're not perfect, and then they judge you for not being perfect or reaching that perfection.
Yeah, that's what I don't like as well. That pretentious behavior.
Exactly. And then that's what's so sad that gets attached to our faith. But
the thing is, like, life is life. Okay, I'm not advocating for sin, but I'm like, okay, yeah, so I slept with somebody. So why are you being like,
exactly? So
you fake
I was drinking.
idiot.
I was
why
clubbing.
are you in church on Sunday? You fake idiot.
What do you mean?
And is that your life?
Exactly.
Is it any of your business? Shut the fuck up. You're also doing. Yeah, you're also doing something else. Like, calm down.
And that would work on my nerves so much.
On mine too.
That's when I also think, this is not a nice religion. This is not a nice faith to be part of. Why am I a Christian?
Like, everybody will attack Christians. Like, what's wrong with you people? You're so pretentious.
Yeah.
Hey, all these other religions have bad people too.
Yeah.
Like, why are we always putting the spotlight on Christians?
That's true.
These religions that kill and others
they're waiting for us to mess up. They're waiting to be like, I told you, and that's why I said
I don't go to church.
It's like, it doesn't even make sense. Calm down. Like, I don't point out your flaws, your faults.
Yeah, just I accepted my faith from the get go. I'm like, I'm a sinner.
We're all sinners.
It's okay. What I do is what I do. God doesn't really care that much that I'm sleeping with you. Nah, come on. I mean, there's a war out there. Do you think God is thinking, oh, my wife said, well, I'm going to send something?
Hey, Mayowa, you're making me think, okay, I'm going tonight and
no, seriously, but think about it. Like,
you're encouraging Montana to go.
No,
let's go a little haywire.
I always like to believe like God is logical. So you're having sex. So that's the biggest problem that God is really worried about.
I don't know.
Is your body really a temple like that?
I think it is.
If it is a temple, I've messed it up,
guys.
I've got
smoking,
tattoos.
you've been eating kebab.
I've got tattoos. I've got piercings.
I mean, that's not how we should be living. Like, logically or technically, then eating badly is also a sin.
It is a sin.
It's the same sin as sex.
My parents would tell me, whatever you put in your body is also a reflection. It's your temple. You should be nourishing your body correctly.
Well, then there's
so many rules. What can I do right? Nothing. As Maya said we're sinners. We are sinners.
Oh, that went from don't judge us, we pray. We're sinners.
No, but you have to accept it. But it's like you can be a sinner, but you try to do the level best. But I feel like some people are not conscious of trying to even do the level, but just be like, oh, I'm a sinner, fuck it.
Yeah.
Because me, for instance, I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in, like, for instance, I don't believe in a devil because I feel like the devil is kind of like a manifestation of evil. But all of us will have evil in us, so we don't need a manifestation. You are evil as well.
Okay.
We don't need to be like,
but there's
it's the devil that drove me.
100% manifestation of evil. There's someone who's more evil than good.
Do you think that the devil really is evil?
I don't think about the devil too
You know
much.
what I'm saying? No. Because I feel like the devil is kind of like, it's this ugly thing.
But the devil's shame. He just wants to be loved too.
Now we're seeing pity on the devil.
No, but
fuck the devil.
No, like why? Okay, if that whole thing exists, then he wants to have his own soldiers, so he can also be
The
loved.
devil can't. No, but those are conversations that you need to have some. Because I feel like if there's God, the devil can't go against God. Easy.
He's not going against.
He'll never win.
He's trying, but he'll never win.
So then why is he trying then?
He wants
I
attention.
don't know. It's always a battle of good.
The devil's got some daddy issues.
Probably,
Clearly.
yeah.
Guys!
Yeah. So that was it for today.
That was like a very weird
Spirits.
episode.
We like all kinds of spirits, vodka,
Guys.
rum.
I wonder what the thumbnail for this one will be.
The devil's got some daddy issues.
Ooh, that's nice. Maybe they will
Pray
cancel
more
us.
people.
Who will cancel
Well,
us?
people
The
that are
devilists.
The satanists.
Wait, please don't say things like that.
Okay, guys. Thank
Ciao.
We'll have a new year.
you. Ciao, ciao.